But I want to take sort of a new twist on the definition of technology transfer. And this is what I've always originally kind of thought of myself and from what I did as technology transfer. It's Don Skaggs with Empowered Inventing, the one place where we try to help you help other people by taking your great innovation, the right opportunity, mixing that with sound wisdom to turn them into real things like products and businesses. Now today, I want to talk to you about a term called technology transfer. And if you're not familiar with what that term, the original definition for technology transfer is the dry Webster Dictionary-esque version of it, is the process of transferring technology from the owner to another person or organization. And it's a term used a lot by universities. A lot of universities will have what they call technology transfer programs, where they'll say, oh, we had our engineers develop this, or professors develop this in-house, and we want to transfer the technology to a business, to an entrepreneur, and it's kind of like licensing. And if you think as an independent inventor, you're really doing sort of a technology transfer if you're licensing your idea, licensing your product to another business or another entity. But I want to take sort of a new twist on the definition of technology transfer. And this is what I've always originally kind of thought of myself and from what I did as technology transfer. Not so much licensing an idea to someone else, but actually finding a technology that's commonplace in one niche industry, one place, and taking that technology and repurposing it, turning it, changing it, transferring it, if you will, to a completely different application, a new and novel way to do something in a different industry. You're doing something completely different with something that was used somewhere else. The military has a great term for this. You know, they love their acronyms. They call them COTS, C-O-T-S. That stands for components off the shelf. And I love that term. I love COTS. And in working and helping inventors, entrepreneurs, and small businesses, we do that all the time. It's finding one common part or one common technology in one place and taking it to another place where it's completely unheard of. And a lot of times you have to find these in niches. Maybe it's some obscure industry and they're solving this problem by using this method or this product or this thing. Now, I'll tell you a really great example of this, and I've actually got a sample of this thing here. This is actually one of our business clients. He needed a way, excuse me, to push a button, and he needed a big button. He needed to be a certain way. He needed to do a certain thing, and he needed to put it into a system. And you know, there was all this talk of manufacturing your own button and making it a certain way and doing all this. And I started looking around, and in the arcade industry, this is an arcade. If you ever have been to an arcade machine and you push the button, that's what one of these are. And it works perfect for his application. So this actually became a COTS, something we found completely commonplace, cheap, easy to find in one industry, but completely unheard of in a different application. So and you have to find these in niches. How many people thought to look in arcade parts? I've done this with so many different industries. It's another one I'm thinking right now where we found something for, again, completely different industry, and it was we found it in the hot tub industry. So look for completely unrelated industries. And back in one of my businesses, we used to we had a lot of things in the medical field, the pathology laboratory field, and we leaned a lot on food processing technology because there was a lot in tissue processing that you could glean from out of food processing. Not exactly the same thing, but a process that maybe they used there or a product or a material or just some way of doing something that we were able to take, change, modify, and turn into something very, very unique for a completely different industry. Completely separate universes, pretty much. So, how do you do that? Well, you talk to a lot of people. If you talk to enough people, you'll find people who will help you in extraordinary ways. When we were searching for this part, we talked to a lot of different people, and I was amazed at some of the people that were able to help us. They're like, oh, I'd love to help you develop this. I'd love to help you find the right part for this. I've got this one right here. Let me just give you one. Sometimes you even get free samples if you talk to them right. So we found parts from suppliers that wanted to help us. Once they learned our story, they wanted to help us succeed in our mission. So if you can get them to buy in, if you can tell the story a little bit, sometimes you can get people to help you in just, again, extraordinary ways. So, and it doesn't have to be technology either. It can be something about the way something is sold. Maybe it's their marketing practices that's unique in one industry. Again, completely unheard of in yours. Maybe it's a different way it's sold, a marketing strategy, maybe it's how you do business with it. Maybe it's what channels, how you sell it. Do they have certain distributors? Is it direct? It can be the way a customer uses a product. Maybe they use a product a certain way, and that model is just unheard of. I heard this about the fashion industry one time. They said if you want to see trends in fashion, they said look at the direction everyone's going, and go in that opposite direction. And they said that kind of sums up fashion. It was actually scientists did a study on this, which I thought was interesting. It had to do with fashion of all things. So anyway, I have toured many a factory floor in many industries where I kind of had this feeling of this, I had no business being there. I'm like, okay, I really don't know anything about this world, but they were giving me a tour, they were showing me everything. I was learning, which was fantastic. You gotta love that. But I was looking around and would find many a technology transfer opportunity of, ooh, look how they're doing this. They've never done this before over here. But you have to be looking. You have to be watching for it. You have to be trying to see what everyone else is missing. And that's the key to this, I think, is everybody else is looking at this, but you're looking around at what everybody else is missing. If you can see that, if you can catch that and identify that, then that's what they're missing, and that's your opportunity. Constantly take in your mind and have those two industries side by side and be looking at them and saying, okay, how could this compare to this? How could this be applied here? How could this be this? And and again, it doesn't have to be technology. It could be customers. It could be customer behaviors. It could be markets. It could be a lot of different things. And usually these things will come at you when you're doing this and you're practicing this. You might feel like, well, I'm keep dipping from this well and nothing's coming out. But it'll come to you, and it does. It'll feel like it came out of nowhere. I know it because I've done it, seen it, and it's happened. So anyway, I hope this is helpful. I am Don Skaggs again. This is Empowered Inventing TV. Please like, subscribe, share, help other people, help us get the word out. And I will look to see you at our next meeting, workshop, maybe one of our online classes, or on the next video.